So I know we talked about it a little bit before we started, but you've been here in Helena for over a decade at this point. What kind of drew you to the Helena area, dating back to your college days at Carroll College?
Sure, yeah, I didn't know much about Helena, very little about Carroll until they started recruiting me in high school. Coach Hallett was my recruiter throughout the recruiting process. Came up on a couple visits, fell in love with the campus, loved the community, the mountains. I don't get much spare time, but I like to hunt and fish in my spare time, so I was really drawn to that. And then obviously the school, the academic side of it and the football side of it, that kind of sealed the deal for me. Went to Carroll for 5 years, played for 4, coached for 1, and then couldn't get enough of it, came back and have been at Helena High for 8 years since.
So I guess what kind of kept you here in Helena? Was it, the atmosphere surrounding it? Was it, the ability to know that to know around the place? What kind of kept you here?
Yeah, I mean, just the community overall, it's a great place. I have 2 young kids. I have 4-year-old twin boys. It's a great place to raise your kids. And then, Helena High's kind of become a second home for me. I love our staff is great in terms of the football side of it, and also the people I get to work with on a daily basis as a teacher here. It's a great place to work, great place to coach, and somewhere I'm very happy to be, hopefully for a long time.
So you've been at Helena High for 8 years. You've been an assistant, and you've coached, and I'm assuming various different groups. Most recently was offensive line. Is that kind of where your natural predilection in the sport is?
Not really. I was the guy that had my hands under center growing up. That's all I knew was quarterback, and I've been very fortunate when I got here. Coach Arnson moved me to DBs, so I got to see a different side of it. Got to work with the defense and see the game from a different perspective, which was huge for me. And then under Coach Evans, I was helped with wide receivers for a year. I helped with the quarterbacks for a year, and then O-line the last 2 years. So it's been great for me to kind of evolve as a coach and see the game through a different perspective in terms of coaching different positions, and it's helped me become more well-rounded overall.
Now that was actually going to be my next question. Obviously, having your hands in so many different groups, how do you think that kind of has prepared you to take on this new task?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been challenging for me to learn new positions, but at the same time, I didn't get stuck in just one spot. I was able to work with different groups and work with different members of our staff, in different capacities, whether that was, the O-line the last 2 years or calling a JV offense, in terms of play calling. So it's been something that's been great for me. To get a different perspective and a different sense of kind of how the game is played, within different position groups and what that looks like in terms of, game planning and really what, each position group brings to the table in terms of, working with different groups of kids and different units. It's been a great experience for me.
So looking at, I feel like we've kind of jumped a little bit ahead, but, you find out the head coaching position is coming open. Evans is resigning from his post here that he had for the last 4 years, but he'd been with the program for almost 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
You see the job come up. What was kind of the first thought that went through your mind? Was it immediately like, oh, I want to go after this, or kind of take me through the first couple of stages of this?
Yeah, absolutely. It was. First thing, you want to congratulate Coach Evans. Like you said, he was here for 25 plus years, working under Coach Arnson, and then the last 4 as a head coach. So you wanted to take some time to reflect and thank him for all the work that he's done. And then the next step, is kind of figuring out who amongst the staff was going to apply. And we kind of sat down as a staff and talked it out. And I was the guy that everyone was kind of behind. And then after that, it was just a matter of going through the application process and the hiring process, which, to have that support from my staff was huge. That was awesome for me to know that those guys, had my back and were going to follow me, wherever we could take this thing.
Now there was 19 applicants, and you made it to the final 4, and then you get that call saying, "Hey, we'd like to have you for this job." What was that like? Kind of take me through that.
Yeah, that was a special moment. I got the call this morning from Mr. McMahon, our athletic director, and it's one of those things, you work hard preparing for it and you know that it's a possibility, but until you get that call, it doesn't quite sink in. So, and then that lasts about 5 minutes and then you're on to the next thing. You're starting to get things together. And we'd kind of been prepping, we've continued with our weight room program and our off-season strength and conditioning stuff. That ball's kind of rolling already. But then you really start to think about next steps in terms of putting your spring together into your summer and then ultimately, ending up in middle of August once we hit two-a-days.
What excites you, most about
Sure.
the future of this?
Yeah, our kids. That's why you get into high school coaching, and coaching in general is to work with young people, and we have a great group of kids coming up. We lost a lot. We have a lot of positions to fill, a lot of big shoes to fill, but I'm excited for that opportunity for our guys to see who comes to work every day and competes, and to get into spring ball and into our summer stuff, and to see who rises up and wins some of those jobs.
Gotcha. Looking at the prospect of that. Obviously, this is your first time as a head coach, correct?
Yeah, I coached baseball. I coached sub-varsity baseball in Idaho for a year, and then I was with the American Legion program, the Helena Reps, for a couple years, coaching under Coach Burnett. But yeah, this will be my first head football job.
So looking at that, so you already have a bit of experience, trying to effectively manage a team, but now that team is much larger. Looking at that, how equipped do you feel to handle this? And obviously, I'm assuming you're not going to be doing it on your own.
Sure. No, it's a great challenge. I think the number one thing you have to do as a head coach is you have to communicate. You have, like you said, you have a lot of moving parts. You have a lot of kids that are involved, a lot of members of your team. But again, I'm fortunate to have a staff that's been together for a lot of years. We have, guys that have been around 10, 20 plus years. So there's a lot of continuity there that makes my job very easy. Schematically, it's going to be a great adjustment for us. A lot of our systems already in place. Coming from Coach Evans into the new regime. So that's, I'm not going to have to worry a lot about that. I have great assistants under me that are going to handle a lot of that, and then I can, kind of as we progress through it, worry about the organizational piece of it and make sure we just keep the ball rolling.
Now, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I do kind of want to backtrack a little bit. Obviously, you've been under two different head coaches in Arnson and Evans, and now it's your tenure here. I guess my question is what will you be pulling from both of those head coaches, or is it going to be a completely new brand of Bengal football?
No, it'll have a little different spin to it. Maybe it's going to have a little different feel, and every head coach is going to have that. Every guy that takes over a program is going to kind of put their stamp on it. But honestly, 90% of what we do is very, very good. Coming from Coach Arnson and into Coach Evans, their ability to work with kids and like I said, to communicate effectively. And watching them interact on a day-to-day basis with our guys, that's the thing that I'm going to continue. It's about our kids first, and it's about, putting their progression not only as football players, but more importantly as people at the forefront. And that's really what we're going to focus on going forward.
Final question. I'd say final question, but normally it doesn't wind up being the final question because I normally have a follow-up from the answer. But what's the first order of business for you as head coach of Helena High?
Well, the first thing I did, I got a hold of our staff, and that was very important to me to get it out to those guys before it hit the Twitterverse and all this. And then at lunch today, I met with our kids. That was the next thing for me, was to get in front of them. There's a lot of questions from them, obviously, with the transition and things like that. And it's one of those things you just have to approach, and take it day by day. There's a lot of things still in terms of our spring ball schedule and what that's going to look like. And, you start looking at equipment and things that need to be done. But number one, it's just making sure that our kids know that they're being taken care of, kind of knowing the expectation and the standard that's going to be in place going forward in the weight room and in the classroom. That's very important for our guys to know. And then we'll just, take it day by day and keep building and get a little bit better every day. And that's what we're going to be about.
Okay, so that definitely was a lie, because I do have a follow-up question for that.
Sure.
What were some of the questions that the kids had when you met with them?
Well, you get everything. They want to know about, what summer camp's going to look like. Are we going to go to summer camp? Are we going to go to team camp? Are we are we going to get new uniforms? Are we going to, everything from that to what are our helmets going to look like? And some of that's in place, and some of that's, kind of something that we're still working on. But you get a lot of questions like that, and how things are going to be different. Like I said, a lot of the things that we're going to do are going to be consistent with things that we've done in the past. There might just be a little different spin on things moving forward.
In my brain, it was like, yeah, in recent history in Helena with new head coaches, new helmets normally come with that, but that's simply just Troy Purcell with the white lids over at Carroll.
Sure.
Is that something that you guys are planning for?
Right now it's a little late in the game to make any wholesale changes, especially with the way, products are being manufactured and things are getting out there with the supply chain issues and things like it's kind of hard, honestly, right now to make any big changes. But there's a few things we're going to look at that might look a little different next fall, for sure.
I guess my last question is what mark do you want to leave on this program? It seems like you've already left one, but that was as an assistant coach. What mark do you want to leave as a head coach?
Yeah, I mean, it revolves back to our kids. My number one team rule is be a good person, and ultimately that's why we're doing it. Is we're helping our kids, grow as young people, not just athletes and not just football players. It's great to score a bunch of points and win games on Friday night, but ultimately for me, it's the most important thing is to help our kids develop, help them become better people, become the best versions of themselves that they can become, and ultimately help them come up with a plan for what they're going to do after high school. Their high school experience and high school football is a big part of that, but it's just part of their life going forward. So how can we help them become the best version that they can become, and then what do they want to look to in the future after they graduate and leave us?